Good morning! Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I have another recipe to share today and it is very similar to the one that I posted a few weeks ago. So in this recipe, just replacing a couple of ingredients, increase and decrease a little bit, and then you get these amazing homemade beef balls. Alright, so the beef balls, you can buy it from the supermarket for sure. It's about $5 or $6 per pack, and that's not even like half a pound, I believe. Very little, and when I eat it, I just feel like it's so much sodium, so much salt in it, and I hate it. I love beef ball, but over here it's too salty for me, so I prefer making it my own. It should not be too salty, and it can go with anything, with pho, with you can grill it, you can fry it, you can cook it however you want. The best yet is that you can freeze it and then eat it whenever you want in the future. So I love it. I love beef balls, so I am excited to make this and share it with you. But my recipe is not exact like majority of the recipe you find on the internet. Most people use it either 1 pound or 2 pounds beef in their recipe, but for me, I bought this ground beef that is only a pound and a pound point two. It's only 1.2 pounds, so it's not exactly 2 pounds and it's not 1 pound. So my recipe is, I adjusted accordingly to meet the standard of my beef. So let's get into the ingredients. Beside the 1.2 pounds of ground beef, additionally you need 2 ice cubes, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. So it is best to use fresh garlic. If you have it, just put like 5 cloves of garlic, chop it up and put it in. I don't have fresh garlic, so I'm using garlic powder. And in this recipe, I use exactly 2 teaspoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of chicken powder, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of ground pepper, and half a teaspoon of baking powder. You also need a blender and some water to boil the beef. So I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the beef, the ground beef, has to be half frozen. It has to be a little bit cold. Well, not a little bit, it's half frozen. It has to be a little bit frozen in order for it to be bouncy. So that's why you need 2 cubes of ice along with the frozen ground beef as well. Not completely frozen, but half frozen. Alright, keep that in mind. As you could see, it's still a little bit frozen, not completely thaw yet. And I will blend this for just about 2 minutes. That my meat is very thick right now because it's not as icy, the beef, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more water to dilute it a little bit, make the process a little bit easier when I blend it together. It is completely optional to add additional water if your beef is not as dry based on the how frozen it is, and when you blend it, if it's wet enough, you don't need extra water, but I added just a little bit more just to make the machine run a lot smoother. done 3 minutes later. Again, it took longer than 3 minutes because I stopped every time and try to make sure it's all mixed together into this consistency. Right now I'm boiling the water, but I don't make the water really boiling hot. You don't want to cook this. You want to cook it becomes the balls, but you don't want to cook it that you're ready to eat. So make sure that the water is hot but not boiling. I will show you how I make this into balls and drop it right into the hot water. All right, see you at the kitchen, which is right here. All right, see you at the stove. And the water is hot right now. I can touch, but it's not boiling, and I want to lower the heat down all the way to just medium. I want to keep it warm like this but not hot. I also use a bowl of regular water just to wet my hand before I touch the ball, so then it doesn't stick in my hand. So roll it into a ball like this, but don't use the whole ball. I want to squeeze it out and make it into like this. So basically I need only half a tablespoon because I want to squeeze it out, round it up to a ball like this. Okay. So my whole point is I don't want to squeeze it so then it's become good ball. Sometimes it helps to use the spoon to help it shape it out. So instead of squeezing it and so I'm squeezing it right now, but I want to make sure it's round, so I use the spoon to help it out too. So any method, in the end they all come to be balls. So once the ball no longer pink and float up like this, that's when it's done. You don't have to cook it all the way through. So that's good enough. Put it in the ice cold water. There's some ice in there too I put in. But just make sure that the ball is no longer pink. Ground beef I made into 25 balls. I think the 25 balls is perfect balls, not too big, not too small. So if you make this, if you want to follow the recipe, make sure you get it into 25 balls. That's about right. And the size, as you could see right here on my my noodle that I'm gonna be eating right now, it's a lot bigger than the one that I put in the cold water to freeze up for future eat. So it's okay to be undercooked a little bit when it comes to making the ball, because you're gonna recook it again. So don't overcook your balls, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And the size usually rise up almost double when you actually start boiling it and cook and eat it. All right, so I am going to show you how, actually I want to know myself how it tastes like, because again I didn't go with the exact recipe because I only have 1.2 pounds and I went with that. So let's see how it tastes like. But as always, I eat very spicy. I like to add a little bit of chili into my broth. And I also use hoisin sauce for majority of the noodle and pho I eat. So, alright, so before I eat the actual noodle, which I am pretty sure it tastes like noodle, I want to taste the ball first. See how it tastes like. Let's talk about the flavor. Perfect. That's how it tastes like. Perfect. The amount of salt, sugar, and all of that, just perfect for this recipe. 1 and 2 pounds meatballs. It's so good. It's actually really good. But the ball is not as bouncy. It's not as spongy, you can say it. And I think that is because my beef was only a little bit cold and not too cold, like frozen but only half frozen. So the colder it is for the beef, the better. And if you want it more spongy, like today I made it immediately, but if you want it to be even more bouncy and spongy, what you could do is put it in the refrigerator for just a couple hours and then blend it again and do it again. So the colder the beef, the bouncier it is. For me, these balls need more bounciness, which I can live with. I think the flavor is not too salty, which is what I was expecting. I wanted that. Now let's have it with noodle. My tiny spoon. Wow, the broth flavor. So instead of making boiling its own water, I use the broth from the beef, so it has that flavor. So even without the meatball, the broth is actually very good. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Try it out and let me know in the comments box below what you think. And I just want to say thank you for watching. Alright, until next time, see ya!